The Galactic Conclave's Grand Assembly Hall was a masterpiece of engineering, a station so large that its gravity was artificially generated and its walls shimmered with the starlight of 1,000 systems. The most advanced species in the known universe gathered here to discuss politics, trade, and occasionally laugh at the less fortunate. Today, the laughter was particularly loud, echoing off the crystalline walls as representatives from dozens of alien civilizations watched the live broadcast on the central holo display. The target of their derision was a tiny, unimpressive craft that barely registered against the backdrop of the Conclave's fleet, a fleet that spanned light years, bristling with weapons and powered by the most advanced technology in the universe. The Earth ship, christened Eureka, looked like a relic from a forgotten age. It was small, stubby, and lacked the sleek curves or glowing energy cores of the other vessels. To most, it looked like a cargo pod at best or a child's crude attempt at a spaceship. And they call this their flagship, boomed Ambassador Xelox, a towering reptilian being with scales like molten gold. His voice was thick with scorn. Do humans think they can join the Conclave with that? The laughter grew louder, joined by the high-pitched chittering of insectoid diplomats and the deep guttural grunts of the Krokar, a warlike species notorious for their brutality. Ambassador Lyra Vega, Earth's sole representative at the assembly, sat quietly in her seat. She was a striking figure in her dark navy uniform, her face calm and impassive despite the insults flying around her. When the laughter finally subsided, she leaned forward, pressing a small button on the podium in front of her. Her voice, amplified and steady, carried through the chamber. "Ambassadors, I understand your skepticism," she began. "The Eureka may not look like much to you. It doesn't have the size of the Krokar dreadnoughts or the sleek elegance of the Veltarii cruisers. But I assure you, it is not to be underestimated." More laughter erupted. "Not to be underestimated?" Xelox hissed, his slit-pupiled eyes narrowing. "It looks like it could be destroyed by a mild solar flare." Lyra smiled faintly. "Perhaps. But appearances can be deceiving." The assembly erupted into a cacophony of jeers and mocking applause, but Lyra didn't flinch. She simply folded her hands on the podium and waited. In the depths of the Eureka, Captain Adrian Cole stood in the dimly lit control room. He was surrounded by a team of engineers, scientists, and soldiers, all of them silent as they monitored the data streams flowing across their screens. "Status?" he asked, his voice calm but firm. "Systems are stable," replied Dr. Elena Park, the ship's lead physicist. She was a petite woman with sharp eyes and a sharper mind, her hands dancing across the console in front of her. "Quantum entanglement field is holding steady. We're ready for Phase 1. "Good." Adrian's lips curved into a grim smile. "Let's show them what humanity is capable of." Back in the assembly hall, the Conclave's laughter was interrupted by an alert, a loud resonant chime that indicated a priority message. The holo display in the center of the chamber flickered, then shifted to show a live feed of the Conclave's fleet. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The massive ships floated serenely in formation, their metallic hulls gleaming under the light of a distant star. But then, one by one, they began to shimmer. "What is this?" Xelox demanded, his voice rising with alarm. The shimmer turned into a distortion, as if the very fabric of space around the ships was warping. And then, without warning, one of the Krokar dreadnoughts disappeared. Gasps filled the assembly hall. "What's happening?" "It's a trick." "Impossible." But it wasn't just one ship. Another vanished. And another. Within seconds, a dozen of the Conclave's most powerful vessels had blinked out of existence, leaving only empty space where they had once been. "Ambassador Vega." Xelox roared, his scales flashing a dangerous crimson. "What is the meaning of this?" Lyra's calm expression didn't waver. "I did warn you not to underestimate us." On the holo display, the missing ships reappeared, but not in their original formation. They were now clustered around the Eureka, their massive hulls floating ominously close to the tiny Earth ship. How is this possible?" stammered a Velterii delegate, her luminous blue eyes wide with shock. Lyra's voice was steady, but there was steel in her tone. "The Eureka is equipped with humanity's latest innovation, quantum teleportation technology. It allows us to move objects instantaneously across vast distances, bypassing traditional space-time constraints. A gift from Earth to the Conclave. Should you accept us?" The hall fell silent, save for the faint hum of the holo display. This is an act of aggression," Zilox sputtered, his claws clenching the edge of his podium. "On the contrary," Lyra replied, her gaze locking with his. "No harm has come to your ships. We simply moved them. A demonstration of our capabilities, nothing more." Murmurs rippled through the assembly, the tone shifting from ridicule to apprehension. "But why reveal this power now?" asked a small fur-covered delegate from the Zithra coalition, his voice tinged with nervous curiosity. Lyra's smile returned, colder this time. "Because for too long, humanity has been underestimated, mocked, dismissed. We may be newcomers to the galactic stage, but we are not without strength. We seek cooperation, not conflict. But let today serve as a reminder, we are not to be taken lightly." In the control room of the Eureka, Captain Cole watched the live feed with satisfaction. The room buzzed with quiet celebration as the team exchanged relieved smiles. "Phase 2? Dr. Park asked, raising an eyebrow. "Hold off for now," Cole said, his voice laced with amusement. "I think they've gotten the message." Back in the assembly hall, the conclave members were silent, their earlier laughter now a distant memory. Slowly, one by one they began to nod, their expressions a mixture of respect and wariness. Zilox, his pride clearly wounded, glared at Lyra but said nothing. "Shall we proceed to the vote?" Lyra asked, her tone deceptively mild. No one objected. As the results appeared on the holo display, an overwhelming majority, in favor of Earth's membership, Lyra allowed herself a small, victorious smile. Humanity had arrived, and they had made sure no one would ever forget it.